Minor spoiler alert, if you follow the PTR, we have finally seen the Dreadlords since the expansion was released, even though they've been heavily hinted at for nearly a year now. A significant bit of information was shown as we got two brand new models, what appears to be the nathrezim, both male and a female version, and even more interestingly, Mal'Ganis himself has a new model. What really is this new form of the Dreadlords and what could possibly happen with them? Brought to you by Gamivo.com. Make sure to click the link in the description and get Shadowlands as well as game time at discounted prices. I'm guessing by now all of you are already familiar with the various speculation theories that have been going around and the fabled enemy infiltration book, where we learned that the Dreadlords are not actually demons, but instead it is heavily implied that they serve the Death Realm itself and more than likely the Jailer. Most of us expected to see them in Revendreth and at the Spire of Unseen Guests, which really seemed like their main base of operation or origin. Seriously, Dreadlords call themselves Unseen Guests. There is a Spire of Unseen Guests, and this enemy infiltration, which actually reads like a report to their master, is found within this exact tower. Well, the PTR for 9.1 was recently datamined, and we got some juicy new information. First off, we got two new models of what seems to be the nathrezim, a male and surprisingly a female as well, which is the first time we had ever actually seen a female Dreadlord. We didn't really know they even existed. Then a new model of Mal'Ganis was datamined, which I'd say is even more interesting than the previous information. So do not get too ahead of ourselves with speculations. Let's examine first what is concrete, what we can actually see with our eyes. I can't help but notice that the new nathrezim model looks, how to simply put it, a lot less feral and a bit tamer than what we're actually used to, and even more importantly, just how much it actually resembles Denathrius, the leader of Revendreth. Seriously, the horns are pretty much exactly the same, the hands are all but identical, and the hooves and the leg structure matches as well. Now, the Dreadlord seems to be hairy, but there is no indication that Denathrius also doesn't look like this, because after all, he is almost entirely clothed and armored. The only obvious difference is that the Dreadlords have these huge wings and Denathrius doesn't. Additionally, the new model looks very close to the Stoneborn of Revendreth as well. The only major difference is that the Stoneborn have something close resembling to feet, while the Dreadlords match Denathrius with hooves, and also not all of the Stoneborn have horns. I think these visual characteristics are the strongest hints that we currently have. We know that the Ventir carved the Stoneborn and created them, and that Denathrius created the Ventir in turn in his own likeness. So if we take this logic, this almost confirms the theory that I had in the previous videos and that has been going around the community for months now, that the Dreadlords are indeed agents of Denathrius. Seriously, many things confirm this. First, from that report, it seems like they serve death, that they infiltrate other realms, and that they say that the purpose you sired us. This interesting choice of words seems like more than an obvious hint, you know, sire, Denathrius, sired us. So the way I see it is that the nathrezim are either the Ventir or are constructs created by them with their own unique purpose. Denathrius created the Ventir to run the realm, the Stoneborn to guard and act as protectors, warriors, and I guess he used a similar clay to shape and create the Dreadlords to serve as double agents and spies, and to do his bidding for the Death Realm and Revendreth. Now, you may be wondering, what's up with this model and why do the Dreadlords we have seen before look quite different? I think the point is more than obvious. The nathrezim literally take shape of whatever realm they infiltrate. You have the green and the demonic looking nathrezim. These are the ones that infiltrate the Legion. You have the purple looking ones, which are the nathrezim that more than likely infiltrated the Void. And most interestingly, you have Lothraxion, a Dreadlord that infiltrated the Light and that acquired, I'd say, a really unique look. I think these are more than just hints that the Dreadlords take on the shape of whatever realm they join, especially with Lothraxion, as this is a Dreadlord that we know and that actually told us that he changed allegiance, and obviously he looks quite different and more light-like. Now, the second question is, what exactly are the nathrezim doing in Korthia? And at the moment we can only speculate, but my thoughts are that these are actually the original, the proto-dreadlords, and that they're on a mission to help the jailer, as Denathrius obviously allied with him. Korthia, with its buildings and visuals, really looks similar to Oribos, just long abandoned, shattered and destroyed, and also very related to the first ones. So it is possible that they may either be looking for artifacts or other ways to further the jailer's plans. And most importantly, they kept their original shape, as after all they're in their home base, the Death Realm, so there is no reason to put on a mask and create a new form. Now, on the other hand, we also have the other critical nathrezim bit of information, and that is that Mal'Ganis is going to appear. At this current point in time, we only know that a new model for Mal'Ganis was added in 9.1 that was datamined. Obviously, all of you know Mal'Ganis and have heard of him and the importance he played in tricking artists to become the Lich King, and the last time we had seen this guy was back in Legion at the Broken Shore. Since then, his whereabouts were all but unknown. Well, now in 9.1 he returns, and I think the most interesting bit of information is his actual appearance. Mal'Ganis looks surprisingly proto-dreadlord-like and not really all too demonic. To be honest, Mal'Ganis was never really all that demon-like, but he had green eyes and looked a tad bit more twisted than he does now. My speculation is that Mal'Ganis is one of the most important of the dreadlords and that he jumped ship early as he saw that the Legion isn't going to win, and instead he reverted back to his true form and returned back home to assist the jailer, this time directly pretty much at his home base. At the moment, the information is really sparse, so we only know that he'll be present there and that the dreadlords are in Korthia, and we are not sure if other notable dreadlords or the nathrezim will join. However, I can't be the only one thinking what this might mean for us. Out of all the dreadlords, they decided to add Mal'Ganis. Could this be a hint that Arthas might finally appear and that he might continue to hunt Mal'Ganis? Maybe Arthas really was serious that time in Stratholme when he said that I will hunt you to the ends of the earth. You hear me? To the ends of the earth. Overall, I gotta say, I'm really excited for this new information and what will come in 9.1, as this Dreadlord twist and storyline may just be one of the most interesting bits of lore that Warcraft has received in quite a long time. Thank you for watching. Check out Asterion even in the Shadowlands at all by clicking on the screen, and also check out Doronsmovies Academy for videos on real world history and science. See you next time.